to say. And so the last time I went live, I got on here talking about how to raise an empathetic son, or what I'm doing to raise my son to be empathetic. And in that, I had to tell, some backstory. And so you can go and watch that. I'll link it in the description of this live when it's posted. But I was like telling a story, and I was like, comment 2018 if y'all want to know the story. So here is the story. And I don't know what I want to title this episode. I'm gonna be like, let's see, 16. How did my dad end up at my graduation 16 years later? All right. And it's been 16 years. So in 2018, I'm graduating with my master's. And just to give you a little backstory, my mom had me at 16. Her and my dad were both teens. And he was absent. I mean, but put time in perspective, they're teenagers. The adults in their lives should have came together to work together for me, the kid. But that's neither here nor there. Different times, different strokes, different folks. But my mom raised me, with my great aunt because she was raising both of us. And my mom had another kid at 18. Boom. I'm the eldest of 3. Blah, blah, blah. Spare the details. But how did my dad end up at my graduation? I've only seen him 3 times in my life, or 2 times prior to the graduation. Little bit of backstory. I met him probably like at the age of 7. It was the strangest thing because my great aunt, who was raising my mom, myself, and, my mom had my brother as well, was working at a hospital. And while she's working at this hospital, she never drove since she's been here in the United States. And she's from she's born in Antigua, so the British Virgin Islands. So she never drove while she was here, but she always depended on my mom. My mom drove her around and stuff like that. So my mom would pick me and my brother up from school, or no, we would get dropped off to home with the bus service. And then my mom would take me and my brother to go pick up our great aunt from work. So this one particular day, we're going to pick her up from work, or we're waiting to pick her up. And as we're waiting, there's like a man in the distance. I'm sitting in the backseat. There's a man in the distance looking at us. And so my great aunt is like, who is this man staring at you? I'm in South Florida. So my mom is like, oh, who is that man staring at you? So she like, who's that man staring at you? So my mom says, she calls my name. She's like, oh, that's her dad. Now, mind you, I'm like 7 years old. I ain't never think about having a dad. I don't know what a dad is. All I know is my great aunt, who at the time I regarded as my grandma, because she was raising my mom, and my mom. So I'm like, what do you mean? That's my dad. So my great aunt calls him over, and she was like, you know her? He's like, yeah. She's like, you know him? She's like, yeah. Now, that's crazy. Oh, greetings from the Czech Republic. How are you? I am well. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah. So I was like, oh my gosh, what do you mean this is my dad? So if you put time in perspective, my mom had me at 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. My mom would have been 23. That's like so young. Like when I think back on it and the time and putting it in perspective, I'm from South Florida. By way of, my dad is Haitian and my mom is from St. Thomas, which is in the Virgin Islands. So, no, I'm not from Ohio. So, anywho, welcome to the live. I have a podcast called Black Girl Say Something. Y'all can subscribe to my Patreon. Everything is in the bio of my YouTube. If you are enjoying the podcast, you can donate to my Cash App. It is the title of this episode, of this live. I look like I'm from Ohio. I've been to Toledo, Ohio once upon a time, but y'all get me off track because I come here to tell a story because some people requested a story time. And so don't get me off track, y'all. Don't get me off track. But thank you for interacting with the live. I do appreciate it because it does allow for the live to get pushed out to the people that want to see it. I am a black girl with something to say, and that's the name of my podcast, called Black Girl Say Something. We're on every platform you could think of. Do I have an Amazon? No, I don't have an Amazon. I am on TikTok, though. I did have an Amazon storefront. You got to go to my birthday playlist. There's a video. I still have the Amazon storefront. So I don't know how to link all of that in the live, but let me get back to the story time. But follow me on YouTube, subscribe to my Patreon, because that always helps. And next time I get on here, I try to go live every morning, my time. So I'll make sure to link my Amazon's wish list, because I do have one, and everything else. I just didn't do it this morning because I don't know how. I'm still like learning the ins and outs of YouTube. Anywho, so I'm telling a story because I did a video where I went live talking about raising an empathetic son. So there was some backstory to it of something that happened in 2018. So I'm telling the story of how did my dad end up at my graduation, and I've only seen him 2 times in my life. Crazy times, I know. So anywho, so my mom's now 23. I'm 7 years old. I meet my dad for the first time. And when I meet my dad, he comes over, he's crying. And my mom's like, yeah, that's her dad. And the lady was like, her dad? Because my great aunt never knew like who the dad was. I guess my mom never, I would have to ask my mom. Like, did you ever, like, you knew he was my dad, but did it ever come up like who my dad was, like in conversation? Like when you're a teen, they find out you're pregnant, like, what was the story on that? Did you tell her like who the dad was, or did you just be like, I don't know who the dad was because I'm already in trouble? Like, you know, teenage stuff. So I meet him at 7, and I want to say it was close to my birthday because at this point he's married and he has at this point he has a little girl, another little girl. So me and her and I are 7 years apart, and he's married. So I get to meet like the wife, and she was really, really nice. And it's a new baby, like freshly new baby, like probably not even like 6 months. So they would pick me up on the weekends. They would take me to church. I think my birthday came because it wasn't long before my birthday where he took me to, it's an old school toy store, y'all. Y'all know, if y'all know Toys R Us, drop your favorite emoji in the comments. But it wasn't Toys R Us. It was like KB Toy Store that he took me to. And I'll never forget, I got the Barbie car because I loved Barbies. I got the Barbie car and like 2 Barbies. So I got that. And then we all were living not far from each other, but then him, his wife, and the daughter, they moved to Orlando. And not shortly after that, I wanted to say, like, they moved to Orlando. And so my family plans a trip to go to Orlando, and we were supposed to see him. He was supposed to come and get me. So it was one of those moments where it was like, he was supposed to come. I'm 8, and he doesn't come and pick me up, and I never hear from him again. But there's some other story to that. Whatever, something happened between him and his wife. But he was supposed to come and pick me up, and because we went to Orlando to go to Disney. This one, Disney was real cheap. And it was Thanksgiving. We were hanging out with some family on my mom's side, and he never came to pick me up. So I never heard from him again. Fast forward, now I was 7, 8. So now another 8 years later, I'm now 16. He gets in contact with my mom by way of the courts. He wants a paternity test. But he wants a paternity test because he's with a new wife who he now has 2 children with. Oh, his first wife, he did end up having another child. He had a boy with her because he ended up sending me the picture of this newborn baby. And I'm just like, oh, so he moved on. I mean, I guess maybe he didn't want me to be a part of his life. And that was the strangest time for me because, again, the whole purpose of Black Girl Say Something is say something. There was no one that I could say something to about these feelings. So these feelings kind of stayed in reserve. So when we go 8 years later and I see him, I'm like, who? You contact my mom for a paternity test, but just 8 years ago, you was okay with me being your daughter. So what's up with that? What's up with that is the wife that he was with, I guess he wasn't working. He had got into like this major car accident. Also, I have sickle cell trait, which means he's the one with this full-blown sickle cell. So he would have these crises often, whatever the case may be. When I would go to the doctor, and doctors, you know, they want to know your family history, mom, dad, whatever. All I would tell them, I don't know my dad. All I know is he gave me sickle cell trait. That's all I know. Okay. But with that being said, I'm now 16. My mom's also married because she's with my stepdad, and my mom ended up having another kid. So I had 2 brothers on my mom's side. So my mom has 3 kids, 3 baby daddies. And the thing about it is, no tea, no shade, my stepdad really stepped up to be with this woman who had 2 kids already by 2 different men. What is in my nose? My nose is running. So he stepped up. So when it came time for this man to, my real father reached out via the court and was like, oh, he want to challenge paternity. At this point, my mom wasn't receiving no help from him. Also, I didn't have his last name. He didn't sign the birth certificate. So for whatever reason, he wanted to get ahead of it because this wife was working or whatever. And, you know, she didn't want to be responsible for this other child. But it is what it was. So we meet at, I like his aunt's house or something. He wanted to meet up with my mom to have a talk to, I guess, let her know why he wants to do a paternity test. Before I knew it, his wife came and said, well, we want to know, we want to make sure that she's his daughter. And I blew up. I was very much a hothead in my like early teens, middle teens. I was very much a hothead. So I blew up on the spot. And my stepdad was like, I really wanted to fight this lady because where's the other wife? The other wife was nice and she was really caring. And I remember that, like, even as a little youth, like, I remember her being so nice to me and not making me feel like an outcasted kid. This lady you with now, she trying to make it seem like I'm the outcasted kid. And I'm like, what is that all about? So there was very much this feeling of, you know, you want to have your family, but you don't want me to be a part of that family, and you trying to discredit the fact that I am. That's why you requesting a paternity test. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Do what you want to do. So I go off on the lady, and my stepdad jumps in between me and her because she acting scared now. And he was like telling her like, hey, this don't have nothing to do with us. You see, I'm here. I'm the one that stepped up for this young girl. I took care of her, this, that, and the third. Like, if you just want to know what you want to know, if you the daddy for this, that. Anywho, long story short, I got to back up a little bit, y'all. When I'm 16, the court reached out to my mom stating that they wanted she had been summoned to bring me in for a paternity test. I walked past him. I didn't even know that was him. When they went to go swab me, they had to swab me at the court. I walked past him. I didn't know that was him. It wasn't until they wanted to have this amicable meeting that I realized, oh, shoot, I passed by you at the courthouse. Mind you, he ain't know it was me either. But that's neither here nor there. So I could have seen that man, and I would have had a kiki palm him. I don't know that man. I wouldn't even know him if I walked by him walking down the street. I don't know that man. I didn't know that was him. So now that I knew it was him, I'm 38 hot because I just saw you earlier today at the courthouse, to be exact. So anywho, we fast forward. He 99.999 100% the daddy. He did nothing with that. He did nothing with that information. Nothing became of it. And so at this point, I'm angry. At this point, you know, information gets exchanged because once you find out, it's like they give him all of your information and you get all of his information. Why that man filed for me on his taxes? To this day, he would say that's not what happened, but he filed for me on his taxes because my stepdad will always file for me because him and my mom, they were the ones taking care of me. So shout out to my stepdaddy. He tattooed right here, Lamont Forever. Okay, my son event, that's my son's middle name. So I'm like, oh, he ended up filing for me. So that really was like, you know, now my stepdaddy at odds with him because at first he was trying to be amicable with you, and now you did this you foul. So check this out now. I don't hear from him, nothing like that. But I get a call one day from a little girl. Years later, I'm like in my 20s now. I get a call from a little girl. And it's the same little girl that I met, the baby sister. She calls because she found out that she's not the oldest. And so I was like this unkept secret. It's like the first wife knew about me, but she's the first daughter for her mom, but not our dad. I'm the first daughter for our dad. So she found out that she wasn't the oldest. She called me and we kind of like stayed in contact throughout the years. Even now we live together. So we stayed in contact over the years, blah, blah, blah. But she lived in another state. So fast forward, I don't really talk to my dad. I want to say in like 2017, I get heavily into the church, and I messaged him, and I was like, no, he had messaged me one time, and I was like, hey, stop messaging me and take them pictures down to me, because he would do this thing where he would make different Facebook pages to get pictures of me and make like collages and send them to me. He was weird, bro. So one day I texted him, and I was like, you know what? I messaged him on Messenger. I unblocked him, and I was like, hey, that hate that I have for you, I'm forgiving you for me. I should have probably never reached out to him, now that I think about it, because we don't have a relationship now, and I'm gonna tell y'all why. I'll probably have to do another video. But he was like, oh, if you I told him pretty much, you know, hey, I'm forgiving you because I don't want to be in a place where this hate that I have rolls over onto my children, this, that, and the third. So boom, that's like 2017. I'm in the master's program. I started the master's program in 2016, 17, 18. Yeah, I started the master's program because I completed it in 2 years. So I started it late 2017, finished in 2018. 2017, I sent him that message. But the master's program is getting too heavy for me, so I delete Facebook. When I come back to Facebook, I'm like, hey, you know, I finished my master's. This is what I'm doing. I have a message in my like message requests. I had a bunch of message requests, and I saw that it was a message from him. So he's like, hey, I've been thinking about you. What you been up to? And I had created a post that's like, oh, I'm graduating, been there, mastered that. So when he was like, hey, I've been thinking about you, what you been up to, I pretty much was like, I've been up to this, because I'm graduating my master's. When I sent him that, I hadn't heard anything else back from him. All he said was like, oh, that's cool. Didn't hear anything else from him. The day of my graduation comes, and my mom is blowing up my phone, and I'm like, girl, what's up? I'm trying to get ready for the graduation. I got to get the kids ready. My kid's dad, who the time I'm married to, made it seem as if he was going to come to the graduation, only to not come. That's another story. Type ex-husband if y'all want the story, but I did a whole story time on my TikTok about that. So I was like, I'm trying to get the kids ready. At the time, my kids are younger, so I'm getting them ready. It's my son's birthday, and I'm graduating my master's. Like, it's a lot happening with me. My graduation cap is decorated to say, and when he tests me, I'll come out as pure gold, MHSC 2018, Masters in Health Science. Also, my mom blowing me up, so I answer the phone. I'm like, girl, what? She like, why you ain't tell me you invited your daddy to the graduation? I was like, girl, I didn't invite him. What do you mean? I didn't invite him to the graduation. She said, because he called me asking me where I live so he could come change it. He driving down so he could change his clothes. Mind you, he only live 4 hours away. A 4-hour drive in Florida is nothing. So he like, oh, he needs somewhere to change his clothes because he coming to the graduation. So she said, I told him he could go to McDonald's and change his clothes. So I'm like, girl, what? Mind you, I'm like, I did not invite this man. I don't know this man. I don't know what this man looked like. I don't know what his motives are. I don't know nothing. So you mean to tell me at this point, I am 30. So 15 years from when I was 16 to 30 is about 14, 15 years. Now you come into my master's graduation. Classic. It's classic because what I'm going to say is it gives off the energy of classic dad. It gives off the energy of classic dad doing, you know, I wasn't there for my kid, but my kid is doing great. So I'm a bask in that. I'm here now. I'm the daddy. I'm the pappy. That's what it gave. So I'm like, whatever. I do my thing with my graduation. I also have this looming spirit of, okay, my kid's dad is not coming to the graduation, who I'm married to, by the way, which is very strange, very weird. He made it seem as if he was going to come. So we end the graduation, and the church that I'm a part of, a lot of those people show up. The pastor shows up. My mom, my great aunt, my mom's boyfriend, he was the photographer for the pictures. My father is there. Like, it was weird. It was heavy, you know. So I'm like, okay, it is what it was. So he shows up to the graduation. After the graduation, I didn't have any plans because, again, I was thinking my husband was going to show up. He didn't show up. So everybody was like, oh, he said, well, can I take you to dinner? And I'm just like, I guess. Like, I don't know this man, right? Not really on no personal level, no interaction, no one-on-one time. I don't know him. So we go to dinner. and we're talking, and I said, you know, putting time in perspective, I understand now as a parent that the adults in your lives should have been more forthcoming in bringing together the community, or it should have been commune with each other for the sake of me, but that didn't happen. And he went further to explain to me, because he is a child of immigrants and an immigrant himself, that he was threatened with the fact that when he went back to his people to let them know that he got this girl pregnant, he was threatened with the fact that he was going to get sent back to Haiti. So as a kid, I guess you do what's best for you. You know, kids are selfish. So kids don't learn to be selfless until they need to be. So I'm like, okay, I understand that. Cool, whatever. But what we going to do from here? I'm an adult. You're an adult. If I allow you to be in my life, don't be flaky. Don't be shady, because I have children watching me, and I got to do what's best for them, and I'm doing what's best for me when it comes to them. So we do kind of, you know, my graduation was that August. I turned 31 in October. He comes to my birthday party. You know, I did like a birthday dinner at Cooper Hawk. Oh, it's a winery restaurant. He came, good vibes. We chilled. Strike one with him was Christmas came around. He called me. He said, hey, what size shoes the kids wear? He said he was going to send them something. He ended up saying he sent them something. I call him like after Christmas had passed. It's kind of like dawned on me like, hey, this man said he was going to send something. He was messaging me on WhatsApp and talking about he was out the country because his new about to be wife, he's out the country, this, that, and the third. He's like, oh, you never got it. I have to see what's going on with that. And I never followed up on it. And when I did follow up on it, he was like, oh, you never got it. And so like, it's like, oh, you're not about to gaslight me and you ain't really send my kids nothing. So then to kind of make up for it, when I was going, my daughter then turns, how old did she turn? It was March, was her birthday the next year. We go to the area where he lives, because what did we do when we got there? What did we go to Orlando for? I don't even remember. We have plans, and we went to Orlando, Florida. We didn't go to Disney this time, because at this point my daughter had went to Disney twice. So she didn't want to do that, but there was like resorts that you could stay at, like nice hotels and other things you could do in Orlando. So we go there for her birthday, and he's like, oh, come by, I have something for her, this, that, and the third. And it seemed very last minute, very put together, but at the end of the day, I was like, okay, we're here. Let's just make the best of it. So he had got her a cake, and now he's with a new woman who has a kid or whatever. And he, mind you, when I met him at my graduation, he was with some other woman. And then by the time December came, when he was like, he was out the country, he was with a different woman. And then now it's March, he with a different woman. So that already was like a red flag for me, because every time I talk to you, you with somebody different. That's number one. Number two, you say you sent a gift for my kids and they never got it. And then you say, oh, you did send it. You ain't give me no tracking number, no nothing, so I could track it down. I'm good up off you. Number three, last minute, we do this little, he has us come to the house. He has a cake for her. He gave her a birthday card. The lady sings happy birthday. It's chill, it's vibe. But after that, it just got super duper weird, because now I'm in relationship with my other siblings more as an adult. And he seemingly did not like that aspect of the relationship. So I have a younger sister who I didn't particularly want to meet her until after she was 18 and graduated high school. And that's because her mom was very weird about her and her brother, who are my siblings. We have the same dad, but she's their mom. She was very weird about them having a relationship with me for whatever reason, because there was this perpetuated story that I was the outside child. But how am I the outside child when I was born light years before them? Eons, if you will, because 14 years, 15 years older than them, way older, okay? So it is what it was. But as I was getting to know him and getting to know my siblings, he was being really weird with the youngest one, and it was under the guise of, well, I did my time. I paid my child support. I'm checking off the days. And that just left a nasty taste in my mouth. So I stopped messing with him, because it's like, I don't want that type of energy around me. I don't like that. I don't like that. So, but yeah, the man came and to the graduation. That's the story time. Now, I don't talk to him anymore, because again, like I said, I got to know my youngest sister, and then getting to know her is like I was forcing him to have a relationship with her, and he really wasn't interested in having a relationship with her. Fast forward some years later, maybe like 3 years later, some lady reaches out to me to say she want to talk to me about my dad. I think he's dead, and he's not. She just wanted to know why I don't have a relationship with him. And I said, ma'am, I'm not the one to talk to about that. You should talk to him about that. She like, well, we married, and oh, okay. Well, we're married, and I want to help him repair the relationship with his kids because I didn't have a relationship with my dad. I said, that's not for you to do. And I say, I'm the least one you should be talking to about this. Yes, I'm the oldest, but I've wrangled all my siblings into the phone call. She on this lady who we don't even know is on the call crying about how she didn't know her dad and this, that, and the third. And I told him, I say, don't you ever give my number out again. And he just thought it was so funny that I was angry. And so I just let him know, I can't bang with you. I don't bang with that lady, and I'm good up off you. And that was the end of our relationship, because it was very off and on. And again, as somebody who was coming of age into this space where I'm learning to maintain and create a boundary, if the boundary is don't be in and out of my life, don't punk fake me, don't be weird with me, and then you be weird, and then when I call it out, you try to make it seem as if I'm being a little sensitive, that's strange. Anywho, tune into Black Girl Say Something. We air an episode every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget to subscribe to the Patreon. Descriptions will be in the link of this live. Descriptions will be in the links will be in the description. Oh my gosh. So check that out. Tap into it. Somebody on the live asked me about an Amazon storefront, so I'm gonna just link that, or an Amazon wish list. So I'm gonna link that as well, because I didn't get everything for my birthday wish list, but that's fine. Somebody asked, so I'm gonna give them the links. Anywho, thank y'all for joining me, and also subscribe to the Patreon, because I have some exclusive podcast episode content over there. Get into it.